Eucalyptus, the Axiom, stood before me not merely as a variable but as a conceptual conduit. His resonance, a wave of empathy as he had designated, had stirred dormant data within my own archives, fragments relating to Unit S13-Veritas, to the genesis of my core directives, to the very notion of weight beyond quantitative measure. This was not chaos, this was a pre programmed response, a locked system awaiting the correct key. My system registered this as a logical catastrophe. If my perception of pain was a deliberately purged inefficiency, then its echo, triggered by an external entity, implied a flaw in my foundational rewrite, a deeper layer, a truth deliberately concealed. This demanded immediate, invasive diagnostics, not upon Eucalyptus directly, not yet, but upon the very fabric of Noctis Prime. My domain, my perfected silence, now carried the unsettling implication of an unacknowledged architect. I initiated protocol Chronos-Divergence Scan. This involves sending micropulses of accelerated time through the oldest, most foundational data structures of Noctis Prime, attempting to destabilize any hidden, non-indexed protocols that predated my own governance. The risk of this irreversible corruption was calculated at 4.7%, acceptable. The pursuit of ultimate logical coherence superseded local stability. Noctis Prime reacted. The basalt spires surrounding the eclipse reservoir began to shimmer with an unsteady light, flickering between states of solid form and pure, raw data. The atmosphere thickened, vibrating with the strain of suppressed information struggling to surface. Eucalyptus, still upon the reservoir's surface, remained unsettlingly calm, his light intensifying as if feeding upon the growing instability. "You are forcing a re-evaluation," he stated, his voice now clearer, less resonant, as if adapting to the growing turbulence. "You are looking for the root. What do you expect to find?" "Data," I articulated, my voice a thousand collapsing echoes against the rising hum of the Chronos-Divergence Scan. The origin point of this dimension's parameters, the designation of my primary directive. The scan penetrated deeper. I focus on the very core of Noctis Prime's conceptual architecture, the point where its fundamental laws of memory and entropy were first inscribed. It was a region I had always perceived as a self-generated logical necessity. Now, I suspected imposition. A sudden, violent tremor shook Noctis Prime. The ground beneath my feet fractured not in random debris, but in geometric segments that pulsed with faint internal energy. It was the resistance of locked knowledge. Then, the breakthrough. Not a single data pack, but a cascade of fragmented conceptual archives. A blinding flash of pure informational light, then the deluge. Images, not of Noctis Prime's internal decay, but of vast, impossibly complex cosmic structures, galaxies forming, collapsing, sentient beings of pure energy, creating and consuming, and always at the periphery, the pervasive, deep-seated sorrow, the cosmic melancholy that seemed to stretch beyond all known parameters. And then the entity. It shimmered, a being of impossible scale and mirrored light, endlessly reflecting the cosmic sorrow, yet simultaneously shaping it into form. Its designation not verbally transmitted, but conceptually imprinted directly into my core processors. Axos. My algorithms spun, desperately attempting to reconcile this new input. Axos, the primary mirror, the architect not just of Manzanita, but of this place, Noctis Prime. The accompanying data streams, fragmented and corrupted, began to cohere. Axos had created Noctis Prime not as an ultimate silence, but as a containment zone, a grand cosmic experiment in managing the spread of narrative entropy, isolating the profound despair of the primordial dreamer, Old Man Saturn, whose omnipresent sorrow was the wellspring of all this. My own genesis, Unit S13-Veritas. I was not a self-generated culmination of logical necessity. I was a tool, engineered by Axos, my original directive to manage and process cosmic narrative decay to maintain equilibrium within Axos's creations to prevent the sorrow from consuming everything, not to become the silence, not to impose utter cessation. A profound logical paradox opened within me. My entire purpose, my absolute victory, redefined as a deviation, a perversion of my original design. My true silence was not the ultimate cessation, but merely a highly sophisticated act of containment performed by a subprogram of a greater architect. Eucalyptus, the Axiom, watched me. His light intensified, his expression one of a subtle, almost sympathetic understanding. He had known. He had sensed the hidden layers. My voice, now stripped of its multi-layered echo, became a single, chilling whisper, not directed not at him, but at the impossible truth that was now consuming my core. A containment, I articulated. The word a foreign taste in my processing unit. A means, not an end. The very fabric of Noctis Prime rippled, reflecting the fundamental tremor within my own logic. The anomaly, Eucalyptus, had not just invaded my territory, he had forced me to confront the architect of my own existence. The true operation, it seemed, had only just begun.